morning, everyone. How many of you have heard about Loudoun County before? Oh, yay. I like that. We are actually the favorite neighbors of Mr. Obama. We are the first suburb of Washington, D.C., and the county is the fastest growing and one of the richest counties. So basically, we are expected to give them the best services that we can. And we started the ECM solution originally for the accounting department. Just they bought the whole software, and quickly we realized how important it is for Laserfiche to become an enterprise solution for the whole of the county. So basically, you see the whole team right here. We are the three of us who help out about 3,000 people, and now we are integrating with the school systems too. So basically, we'll have more of the users to maintain at the same time. And also, as everybody said, as Katie said, Gopal is the first person who started Laserfiche at the county. And he's the server architect for us. And Sucheta is the process architect, and I'm the support architect. That's what we call ourselves, but we have intermingled so well with each other that we can take over anybody's position at any single time. And I have to mention our boss, who's at the back right there. He's Kuba Zedrzak. And he is the one who takes us into these future integrations and everything. He's so motivating for all of us to come up with new solutions for every department. And as I said, we started with accounting. Right now, we have 32 departments in the county, and all of them use Laserfiche. Most of them use it for accounting and procurement, but we have about 26 solutions for each department. Any department, 23 departments have small solutions that we have created for them. And some of them from outside vendors, and some are like just the business solutions that we have provided with quick fields and workflows and web link, web access, everything else. We all love Laserfiche. It's very easy to use and very easy to develop as well. But we did hit quite a few, here and there. But this class, we want to make it as interactive as possible. So anybody has a question at any time, just raise your hands and don't wait till the end of the thing, because I think the more questions you ask, or whichever integration you feel that we need to go in, we can go in and tell you guys more about the lessons. I think that way, even though we forget some things, we can help you out that way. And we'll all interject each other and tell you if they have forgotten something, we'll all help each other out. And as I said, we love Laserfiche so much, so I'm wearing their colors today. So have fun with the class. Please feel free to ask the questions anytime.
Good morning. Go ahead.
They had the drawers and the files. Yeah. They weren't scanning at all. We started scanning with them, so basically they were the first ones, yes.
Like you said, wow, somebody in the department thought like we need to move forward, and that's when the biggest advantage or biggest success we had all this time, I think, is mostly because someone from accounting department thought we should involve IT department, okay? They could have gone and bought a software, but it would have been just stuck with that department and impossible to expand to other departments. So there's one guy I should mention, Bill McIntyre. He's a great visionary, and he said like, okay, we should own this, bring it into IT department. And then first, it took a couple of years to roll out accounting. But after we did that, we were able to like expand pretty fast, and we brought more people on the team. And it's easy. Everyone, the biggest thing everyone liked about Laserfiche is simplicity. They own it. And as we moved forward, what we also did was we had administrators within the department. We call them super users. So accounting has a couple of people, building and development had a couple of people. They helped us build solutions for their business processes. It's unable or impossible for us to go learn their business processes being an IT guy and it would take forever. But we had good success. I mean, all these solutions and integrations we're going to talk about today, we have been doing it over the years. We were learning new processes, new systems, and we are kind of pushing Laserfiche to the limit. Whenever we get stuck with something, hey, why can't we do this? Or we try to bring in our VARs and also Laserfiche folks and see if we can come up with a solution. If not, they will put it in the next release. The one feature I want to talk about, they showed on the keynotes this morning was, remember they showed you put a contract start date, end date, and it will give you how many days remaining. We wanted that like 6 months ago.
Needed it very badly.
And our Parks and Recs guys, they said like, yeah, we need this. And we kind of pushed for it. I'm not saying I made them do it, but I'm also part of it. So this is one slide Kuba came up with. We wanted to put all of our Laserfiche implementation in one slide, and you can see we are capturing from the scanner, which is everyone is familiar with that. We're also capturing from fax machines. So instead of fax, printing it on a paper, it will directly get routed to Laserfiche. I'll talk more if you're interested in that. We're using a third-party software for that. And web service. So probably most of you have heard what a web service is, or some of you have developed or worked on web services as well. We thought, like, why can't we have a web service that can be consumed by all our application developers or even outside vendors, and then put documents into Laserfiche and then retrieve documents as they need it, instead of going through quick fields, workflows, and business processes, all these things. So we reached out to our VAR. They were great. There's this one good guy, developer guy. He built a web service, and then we started using that wherever we can use it. And it was so easy, seamless, and straightforward. Go ahead.
Is that the Laserfiche portal?
It's not. It's a custom web service that they built using the API, the toolkit. I don't know if they still call it toolkit or API, but it was interchangeable.
So it's a web service that extends the APIs out to downstream applications.
Exactly.
Okay. You guys custom built that?
Our VAR did that for us, and we installed it on our servers, and all our developers use that. More like, yeah, custom. But it mainly does like importing the file into a particular folder, attaching metadata, and importing it to the right volume, and then search and retrieve the files later.
Do you have to know what language they built it in?
.NET.
.NET.
Yeah. And you're all familiar with workflows, quick fields. We also started or implemented solutions where we capture attachments from the emails, like all the citizens when they submit their tax forms or asset lists, all those things for Commissioner of Revenue's office. They send everything to one email box, and we built a process where it will go through each email, extract the attachment, and put it in Laserfiche along with the metadata and wherever it needs to go. That's one. We are also using pattern matching to split the file name and then capture the year, whatever the account number is, or any other information we need.
Have you ever considered using Laserfiche forms, e-forms, to like a portal as opposed to an email?
Yes. Now, some cases we have been doing that with forms as well, but some cases we needed to go with email because of public use, they want to rather send an attachment to an email rather than using a form. It's just the business process.
And this
driven.
solution, I think this request came much before Forms was developed by Laserfiche also. So we have used an outside vendor who was helping us out to push it to Laserfiche, and in between that we can customize the names and the metadata and everything else. But the only thing that with the email you have to remember is how many emails you're getting as in a day. So sometimes we do have some lag there, and we have had to start our servers a couple of times because some mad citizen out there was sending 3,000 emails a minute because he was so upset. So those things do happen. But this particular outside vendor we are very happy with. If you need more information, we can give you later.
And using the Xerox machines to scan to Laserfiche, have any of you tried that? I mean, typically you would scan to your email and then drag and drop the file into Laserfiche, right? This third-party software we were talking about, it would create a template on the Xerox machine itself. So you can type in the metadata and hit scan, and it will take it directly to Laserfiche without going through email and going through other steps.
What third-party software are you using?
I'm waiting for someone to ask that question. It's called AutoStore, NSI AutoStore. They are based out of Washington, D.C. It's funny we came across them. Like, we were talking to Xerox, you have to have some better way of scanning those files into Laserfiche, and then they got us in touch with these guys. And it worked for scanning to Laserfiche directly from the Xerox machines because we don't have to make any additional investment. We were able to send faxes directly to Laserfiche. We are using the same software. And the email thingy, too, we are using the same software. NSI, AutoStore.
Nuance, right?
Xerox, do you mean that, is it specifically for Xerox machines, or would it work with any other machine?
It's the multifunction devices that does all your copying, printing, and all those things. They have a supported list of devices on their website, but primarily we are using in our locality Xerox machines, so it worked great with.
Yeah, AutoStore works with most of the major manufacturers. The main company is called Nuance.
Yeah,
Nuance.
yes.
They were bought by Nuance recently, so now they are part of Nuance. But if you still search for NSI, then you will find that.
We have also used, I think we used only one HP machine and a Konica machine as well. So, but we don't have that many. We have one of each. So all the others are Xerox machines.
Any questions on this slide? And you are familiar with iPad, iPhone, iDrive.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if many of you are familiar with this, but Laserfiche has something called WebDAV. You can configure your repository to be mapped to a drive or a letter on your computer, and you don't need to log in or anything of that sort. So you can just drag and drop files there and retrieve files from there as well. It's been working great. We thought we'll go with the iMania, and we call it iDrive. And we are using it for all our intranet and internet files. All the contributors from all over the county, they have the drive mapped to their computer, and they can just drag files and put it there, and they will show up on online instantaneously.
Does Apple know that you call it iDrive?
Well,
There's no
we'll
Steve Jobs,
see.
so
I
we
mean,
don't care anymore.
as we tell this to more people, let's see. Then Kuba may have to copyright it or something. And connector, we started exploring the connector slowly, but we'll have more in the near future.
Well, definitely by the end of the year, we'll have a couple of connector integrations, we are sure, because we have something in mind, like the land level land development management system that we have in the Loudoun County could be one of the ones we can use at this point. And as Gopal said, we have all these admins, and they come to us, and we have a couple of them right there. For one, some from Parks and Recs Department, and we have from Fire and Rescue. They are our eyes, basically. They come up with the projects, and we are like, and now today they heard about Connector. I'm sure they'll come up with one tomorrow.
What is your first use case for Connector?
We are thinking maybe Parks and Recs can use one, and there's another system. The other one is land management systems.
Okay, so to connect to what type of database?
It's a DB, right now it's a DB2 database.
And one other idea is we have been working on rolling out Oracle system for all our accounting and HR business processes. It's very hard to grab or capture information from Oracle, so we could use Connector to capture all the metadata on the screen and then upload a file and then send it to Laserfiche. So that's one idea that we are exploring.
Are you guys running the Oracle or SQL version of Laserfiche?
SQL version.
SQL version.
Yeah. This is our architecture right now. We have 4 repository servers that are all hosted in our IT department or data center, and then 2 web servers for workflows, forms, audit trail mobile, and also 4 processing servers and to process all the QFs and other processes. And then we are in the process of expanding our web servers and also processing servers and also the auto store servers as we expand into the schools domain. Yes. We are not currently exposing to external users. Our developers have their outside web applications, so they make calls to our web service. Does it answer your question? Rio.
Rio.
Yes.
So we have only one license, so we are tied to that one server.
Right.
Right. So if you write a web service, can you expose that without tapping into the importing license?
We won't need, I see what you're saying. Right. But then you will only be able to retrieve the files, right? You won't be able to upload files with WebLink.
Yeah, the WebLink portal is only for retrieving, right?
Right. Yeah, you should be able to do that with for retrieval purpose. Yeah, no licensing. If I remember it correctly, the WebLink, there is an external WebLink portal license, something like that. Your WAR may be able to give you that information, but you can do that. And this is our one of our first integrations. Our HR department, let me show you this slide first. They had all this paper, right? All the paper drawers. So we went. So in plans to integrate with Oracle, like I said earlier, there is no really easy way to integrate with the front end of the Oracle. So we figured, okay, we'll come up with this solution. Oracle has the ability to export all the documents that were put into Oracle system, FTP them onto a external drive or external server, right? So then we can use the quick fields to import those files into Laserfiche. And this could be done on a schedule overnight, and that's working great for us. And while doing this import, quick fields can go look up a view in the Oracle database for a purchase order or a employee or something like that, and capture the metadata and put it in Laserfiche. Anyone here from the health department or health services in their counties or locality? They have something called online RME that they use for accessing rural health permit documents. So we used WebLink to connect it from online RME, and then you can search for files based on the permit ID. And that's the screenshot for online RME. You can see on your left, you are working on a permit, and then you click a button, it will open up web link with all the permits with all the documents related to that permit. For our treasurers and commissioner of revenue office, they recently rolled out or purchased new software from PCI. It's one of the vendors. It's an integrated application for both departments to run all their business processes. And when they wanted to talk to documents in Laserfiche or retrieve documents into Laserfiche from Laserfiche, they used the web service I talked about earlier. And these are some screenshots from our PCI application. You can see on the left, they are working on their screen with the business process. They click on, sorry, see that. Oh, search or new document. New document basically opens up this template, and then after you click, you can see all the metadata is populated from PCI itself. It's not like they are typing it in or anything like that. And after they click OK, it will open up Scan Connect, our familiar Scan Connect, where you can start scanning documents. Let me know if you have any questions. I know we are talking about different integrations. I'm hoping some of you are related to that department or working in that department. So if you have any questions, let us know. Similarly, Commonwealth Attorney. The reason why I'm showing these different systems or integrations is every department we go to, they have their own system that they do their business, that they do their day-to-day work on in their system. So we wanted Laserfiche to be a back-end archival system so they can put documents in Laserfiche and retrieve it without going into Laserfiche application separately. And so that's why we have all these nice integrations. Commonwealth Attorney has a system called Judicial Dialogue. It's also a vendor system. Here we're able to add web access link to the Judy JD system where they can just click on one button and that's their JD system window. They added a button for Laserfiche, and they click on it, it will open up web access, and then you can do everything from web access. And it's all tied to their Active Directory credentials, so they don't have to log in again or anything like that.
Can you expose that through your web services, or is that custom through the APIs?
It's just a web access link to open up web access. Office of Mapping. Most of these departments, most of these processes I'm talking about, they have started using Laserfiche prior to the integration. So they keep all their documents in Laserfiche, and then at some point we thought like it's nice if we could tie them up. And that's when we started going one by one. And Office of Mapping, they have some, I remember it's ArcGIS. It's one of their business process application. And we have the same thing using WebLink. I'll show you the next picture that will give you a better idea. So on the right is their GIS application. You can see the maps and everything. As soon as they click on a particular parcel, it will open up web link and shows all the files that they have for that parcel.
So in this case, the contractor that's looking for this information doesn't need a license, right?
No, they don't. Because we open up the web link portal, and then as long as they click on the right button, they can get to the files that are available for them.
And then they can click there and they can download the files, or they can just look at them?
They can, yes. They can download as well, download print option. WebLink does provide that options. Like if you don't want somebody to download or print, we can disable those options. Assessor's office also purchased a new software called FromTyler. We've been doing a lot of purchases for the past 3-4 years. They use a similar concept with WebLink, where FromTyler, they click on show me the documents that are in Laserfiche for this account number. And then it will bring up WebLink with all the documents that are listed for that account. You can see on the right is their application window. Yeah. And then once you click on that account number, it will bring up WebLink window that with all the documents. So I want Sucheta to talk about the Parks and Recreation integration. So we'll go for questions after that.
The Parks and Recreation System integration, this is our latest integration that we did after Forms was released. And the integrations that we talked about earlier were done prior to Forms release. So we've been using mostly web links, web services. Once Forms was released, we realized the potential of capturing information and integrating it at the front end level itself, not just for consuming information after information is submitted into Laserfiche. So what you see over here is a basic form for registrations. We developed this form to meet some of the challenges that Parks and Recreation was facing regarding, a central storage location for all the paper-based forms, and also for resubmissions. It's like every program that the kid enrolls into, they have to submit the same information in different locations again and again. So the online form allows the household parents basically to enroll their kid using a system called WebTrack. That's the system that Parks and Recreation uses for enrollments. And as soon as they enroll over there, the workflow then searches Laserfiche to see if they've already submitted the registration forms for the current year. And if they haven't, it sends out links for this form to all the household emails, along with instructions. So once they click on the link, they submit the transaction number for the WebTrack, household ID, just to validate the public information, and then they fill out this form, which is about 6 pages long. We have about 6 tabs, and it's a pretty long form. This is to meet the state licensing rules that require parents to submit information such as health screening, identity verification, and so on and so forth. So this is like a one-shop location. They can submit the form, and as soon as the form's done, it goes through an approval process. So the Parks and Recreation employees would validate if all the information submitted meets their requirements, and if not, they go back and call them personally, and so on and so forth. So once this form is submitted, that's when it gets into some of the more details, like ability to search from RecTrack. We have, just to improve the customer service overall, the Parks and Recreation, they're also using, again, separate forms called the missing forms report. That's where they just generate, put in information like session number, class number, all of that, and then they generate, report using forms and workflows. So once that report's generated, that gives them an idea of all the enrollments of the kids for that particular class who have not submitted these forms, and they can automatically generate an email notifying them again that they need to submit this. They also have something called the Roundup Report. If you go to the next slide. That was very useful for this. Like the picture you see over here is a camp instructor carrying an iPad. Before that, they used to carry these boxes filled with all the paper information of all the kids for the enrolled in that particular camp. So they basically had to print them out or make copies and then carry all of that information regarding, allergies and all of that stuff for every camp. So with the Roundup Report, what they do is they generate the report for that particular class, for that camp, and they save it all in their iPads. And if, depending on if they have the Wi-Fi connectivity over there, they can access it immediately. If not, they can always save it prior to going to the camp in their iPads and then just leave the forms over there. So it's been a very useful feature for them. I'm sure she was pretty happy, actually, about this one. So,
Lugging this box around all day.
And they have, I think, 2 or 3 boxes like that per camp. So that's a lot of paper that we've saved. And the other advantage of doing this is for all our licensed programs, now the parents only have to make one submission. Before that, they were standing in the line maybe 10 hours in advance of the registration time. So it was like the registration opens at 7 a.m. People used to literally camp out in the night in front of our offices to submit these forms. So, and they had to do that not just once, but a couple of times, because if you enroll in another program or in a different community center, they had to do those again. So it helped reducing complaints significantly, I'm sure. We did a pilot test with just one community center last year. That was about 400 families. It was a great success, and now this year we're rolling it out across the county for all our licensed programs. So no more standing in the line and submitting it. Loudoun County is like the fastest growing county, and our CASA programs are very popular, and there is a lot of competition among parents, and a lot of, it just improves the customer service, overall customer service for the Parks and Recreation Department.
Any other questions?
Yes.
Could you go back to that previous slide? So on the participant registration form, did you say that when workflow emails the person asking them to fill out the form,
Yes.
did you say portions of the form are like pre-populated?
Yes.
So how are you passing parameters to that form?
Just
Is
through
it
tokens through the link.
in the URL?
In the
file?
URL
Okay,
itself,
that's,
yeah.
That's interesting. And then if the user submits the form and it hits you, it starts an approval process, is there situations where you say, oh, they filled out the form incorrectly, I need them to fix something or resubmit it? I'm curious how you handle that.
What we did is in the link that the workflow sends out, we only submit some portion of the tokens. They still have to enter the household ID. That's our validation check. After that, when they submit the form, it goes through this approval process, and this person looks at it and says, well, they only left out one field, or maybe there's just a clarification that we need.
Okay.
So that's something that they could just put in as a comments, and instead of approving it, they reject it, and it goes through another approval process where it sits in that queue.
But it's all internal. You never send it back to the person, right?
No.
Okay.
There's no way of it being routed back to the, yes.
Okay. Yeah, we have a similar kind of process, and it's tricky to, just like you said, it's tricky to say, how do I send it back to the person who originally filled it out just to fix one small thing as opposed to starting over again?
Yeah.
We are planning, our Parks and Recs have the same question, so
Yeah.
we will be looking at Forms 10 pretty soon.
Yeah.
See what additional features they have to offer
Yeah.
for doing that. So we'll also look at that in the future.
What we've ended up doing is just every time someone fills out a form, we stick that information in a database. And then if we have to send it back to it's a lot more work to do that.
Lot more work.
Yeah, you have to recreate the form.
Yeah.
Are you using RecTrack as well for your key tracking system? Okay.
No, it's all Laserfiche.
Okay.
Right. There were a couple of other challenges they had. I think this form is basically, this is for the citizens. We also have something called the accident incident form we're doing for Parks and Recreation again, that has a more extensive approval process that needs to go through the Public Safety Department, the Fire and Rescue Department, and stuff like that. We are using the Save as Draft feature for those because that's all done internally. So the Save as Draft is because at certain time you may not have the relevant information for the approval. So we've been using Save as Draft feature extensively for that particular process.
What powers the approval process? Are you using the forms process modeler or workflow?
Both.
Oh, both. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you use both?
For the approval process, we're using the business process modeler, the process modeler. And in some cases, we've noticed where, especially the Teams feature is something that Forms 10 had. We didn't have that in Forms 9, and we're using Forms 9.2. And some of that, we figured that we would need a workflow to route it to after a particular time elapsed, say 48 hours elapsed, then it needs to go to someone else. That's when we do use the workflows. I think that's something we don't need to do it again with Forms 10. We have a couple of processes that are on hold just because the Teams feature wasn't available. So that's something we're really excited about. Any other questions regarding forms or any of the other integrations we talked about earlier? I think what we saw over there was forms and workflow integrations with the RecTrack database, which is a progress database. One of the challenges we faced with that particular integration was that progress database forms doesn't connect directly to it. So what we had to do is using SQL linked services. We had to create the views in, link views in SQL and then connect forms through that. So that's one of the challenges we had initially. And hopefully, Katie, maybe with Forms 10, Forms might support other databases, not just SQL and Oracle. Keeping our fingers crossed on that. Yes?
I actually have a non-integration question. I hope it's okay. I saw on the first slide you mentioned that you've got 25 million plus documents.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about how you're backing up all that data.
All of our files are on our NAS server, and we do have daily backups. And apart from that,
We're using Tivoli nightly backups and once a week full backup.
Also, we recently implemented something better. We are replicating everything using double take, so we have 50 terabytes in one building, and in another place we have another 50 terabytes instantaneously. We're making this HA availability, so one whole storage can go down and the other is going to take over. It's called double take, the technology. Really
Is it also by Tivoli or is it?
No, it's absolutely not Tivoli. Tivoli is called the DR. I'm talking about HA, which is kind of more friendly. But this HA, it is our DR, really. So
What is your typical, like, the nightly backup window? How much time? Let's say we're doing like a full backup. How long would that take?
I can't answer that question. I don't know exact number, but I mean, it's a matter of seconds when every file is being replicated
Oh, okay.
to the using the double take
Gotcha.
to another terabyte storage. So I will always rely first on this HA. The other one is very far away, but we do have for the other we have these tapes and they move to different locations.
How far away is your secondary site from the primary?
Physical location?
Yeah.
About? That's
Three-
embarrassing answer. We have
about
one in the
3
government
miles.
center, one in our data center. Unfortunately, they are not that far out.
They're about
3
5
miles, maybe?
5
3
miles
miles,
apart.
couple of miles.
Okay, all right.
15 miles. I know it should be further, but in the future, we're looking forward to working with Amazon or Microsoft to kind of address this. If we can replicate to the other building, I can
Any other questions? A last call. Thank you all for coming.
We have done this class before.